So this is something I may or may not have talked about at one point or another. But I feel since the Nationals are this weekend that it's something to think about, and I guess sort of advice to people playing, but it goes for any game, any situation. You don't necessarily always lose to your opponent. There's a lot of times where you can lose to yourself, and I think to minimize that, there's a few things you have to do. But let me explain first, like, what I mean by losing to yourself. Now, this may seem obvious to a lot of people, but it's just something to think about from a different perspective. So, for example, if you misplay, that costs you the game. You didn't lose to your opponent necessarily. Like, obviously, they won the game, but you cost yourself the game. So, you got to think about, dissect why you made that misplay, so you don't make that misplay again. That's the easiest way to learn for me, or watching somebody misplay, because then I'll remember it in my head, the same kind of scenario, and be like, oh, I remember this person or me doing that before, so therefore I'm not going to do that again because last time I did that it was a misplay. You know what I mean? Like, you got to make the right call in a lot of situations, especially if you're in a grinding game or whatever it may be. So what I'm saying is, think out your moves, because you want to play at a decent speed, because if you play too slow, then you might lose the time. I don't want to get into the time, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of ways to prevent misplaying. Like, it's not maybe because you're under pressure and stuff like that, but you get used to it if you play with like so many people all the time. This is where online and real life person testing comes into play, because, you know, online, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like doing like 20 million things at once if I play online. So I'll be like on Facebook, on YouTube, on something else, and playing online. You know what I mean? Unless it's with a friend, then, you know, I'll try to focus a little bit more, but I'm still doing other stuff. So therefore, I'll mess up, or I won't see something, or I just like want it to be over, I guess. You know what I mean? That's just how things work. So what I'm saying basically is, you can lose to yourself, and you should prevent this, especially if you're going to Nats this weekend. One, get some sleep. I know that's tough for me, and it's tough for a lot of people, so that's the biggest thing, because I've said this in like preparing for regionals, like a video like I made a while back, but if you're going to Nats this weekend and you stay up all night the day before, so all night tonight, or I think the main event's tomorrow, right? Yeah. Then you're going to be wicked tired. You know this, and you're just going to want to sleep. And you're going to like accidentally cause yourself to misplay because you want to lose a match, so you want to lose, so therefore you can go back to your hotel room and sleep. Now, that's not a very productive way to spend your weekend in Detroit when you paid all this money, etc. So, bottom line, don't misplay. Get some sleep. You know, go over things with your friends, like double guess yourself. Play test the night before, but still get sleep. That's another thing. Sleep is kind of more important than play testing the night before, in a sense, because chances are you've play tested against the meta, you play test against a lot of things, especially Lightsworn rulers. Like, everybody knows what the cards do by now, I hope. So that's something to think about. Just, you know, relax, calm yourself, do what you gotta do, and you should do pretty well. I mean, there's things that are out of your control, you know, like your opponent opening nuts or whatever, but if you minimize the mistakes you do, chances are that you're going to have an advantage against your opponent, because sometimes when it comes to the grind game, it's whoever makes the first bad call first. And that could be a misplay, or attacking when they shouldn't, or not attacking when they should have, or anything like that, etc. So, bottom line, focus. Don't misplay. Get some rest. Don't lose to yourself, because that may be one of the worst feelings you can have if you lose to the Nationals because you lost to yourself. You know what I mean? If it's stuff out of your control, it won't be as bad. But I wish everyone that it's at Nats, all my friends, good luck, guys and gals. I hope to see you on somebody's YouTube page. Hopefully mine when you get back. But good luck to everybody. And yeah, don't lose to yourself.